Another popular or frequently asked question are people that come in and inquire about flashes of light, but more importantly, floaters. We all have floaters. Floaters is the idea that the jelly in the eye becomes more solid as we get older. Typically, floaters are going to occur as we get into our 40s, 50s, but they can occur at all ages. But yeah, I'm going to see more floaters in 40s, 50s, and 60s. This jelly will coagulate, or think of Jello, which is liquidy when you put it in the refrigerator, but then is solid and gelatin when you get it out, when it's done, you know, with the process of making Jello or gelatin. But this will coagulate. This will pull from the back of the eye, slough off tissue, if you will, and create these floaters. Here's a floater right here, not very big, and most of them are not, but that is one that's suspended right here. That patient's going to see it because it's in the line of sight. And typically these floaters will last 6 to 8 weeks. You can see that that's an outline of that floater, but again, very common. Why is a floater so important to let your eye doctor know about? Well, when that vitreous or jelly between the lens, which is where the cataract forms, and the back of the eye, the optic nerve and macula back here, when that coagulates, that can actually pull the retina and create a hole or a tear. If that's the case, that's why, again, if you have the floaters, we need to rule out that there's not a hole or tear. That can result in a retinal detachment. And a retinal detachment is much more serious than just a normal floater or flash. Here is a classic retinal detachment right here that you can see resulted from a hole or tear and is now starting to detach. The importance of retinal detachment and why it's so critical is you need to catch this before it crosses what we call the macula, because if that retina detaches and takes off the macula or separates the macula from the back of the eye, that's when you will not recover your sight, and that is typically when you will be blind from a retinal detachment. So retinal detachments are caused for a number of reasons. They can be if you're very nearsighted, because when you're nearsighted, you have a much bigger eyeball. Again, when you're nearsighted, your image is focused here. Well, this eyeball is much bigger, and you're going to have thinning of the retina, so that retina can be easily pulled away. Blunt trauma to the eye, that's why boxers with thumbs of the eyes will result in more retinal detachments. You see that in racquetball, why it's so important to wear safety glasses in the racquetball court, because that ball will suck, get in there and suck, and again, cause retinal issues. But 99% of the floaters are typically, that's all they are. Floaters, again, are just suspended tissue. Over time, 6 to 8 weeks, typically, the body will absorb it or it will fall out of the line of sight, so you don't see it as much. But again, it's up to your eye doctor to determine if that floater is an actual real threat or just a normal aging change. People that have floaters, it can drive them crazy. There's nothing that really can be done about floaters unless you have had cataract surgery, and once we've taken that cataract out, we can then stick a needle inside the eye gauge. Sounds terrible, but it's just a gauge, and we can actually suck that vitreous out where that floater is. It's called a vitrectomy. So the reason we have to have cataract surgery is the lens, as soon as you oxygen would enter the eye through that needle, through that hole that that needle would go into, that lens would instantly turn opaque, and that is what a cataract is. So for people that have floaters that really bother them, we can do something about it, but it's only going to be after you've had cataract surgery. Again, number one cause of floaters is going to be aging, and they will come and go.